Hare Krishna, Pranam to all Matajis.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna Pranam.
You can keep your videos on. Those who are sitting in front of the mobile or laptop.
आवाज नहीं आ रही दादाजी वॉइस नहीं आ रहा
ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथामृतं तं सजीवं सादवेतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपकांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So by the mercy of my Gurudev and also his instructions, I'm trying my best to preach this Vedic instructions for Matajis, whatever is given in the Shastras regarding voice is not coming. Shweta Mataji, voice is not, I'm not audible.
Audible Mataji.
Audible, no? Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Some messages coming that I'm not audible. Okay. So based on the instructions of my Gurudev, I'm trying my best to say something what Srila Prabhupada has said and written in his books regarding Stri Dharma. So I'm trying, and I'm not at all fit candidate to say such things, but still just remembering the instructions and keeping full faith in my Guru's instructions, I'm doing this as a service. Okay, so today's topic is very important, both for those, it's important for all Mataris actually, those who are not married, those who are still unmarried, those who are married and have children, and those who are married and are old people and their grandchildren is there, the granddaughters are there. For them also it's very important to know what directions are there in the Vedas for ideal marriages. So this is our topic, that what are the Vedic directions are there for ideal marriages. Generally, we know so many things for marriages, to make marriage successful, but we should know what instructions are there in the Vedic literatures, because as everybody, it's very common saying in the Shastras, and also many times repeated, that there are two ways of acquiring knowledge, that is the Aroha Pantha and the Avroha Pantha. So what is the Aroha Pantha? Aroha Pantha is the knowledge that is acquired by experiment or by speculative thinking. Okay, so that is the Aroha Pantha. These are the two ways of acquiring knowledge in this material world. So if you see the Aroha Pantha, that means that we are acquiring knowledge by our experiment. We are doing experiment or by our speculation. So that is imperfect, and that is called a that is called the inductive process. Okay, so that is the ascending process. So it's imperfect. Why it's imperfect? Because as Srila Prabhupada often says in his lectures and writes in his books, that because of the four defects is imperfect, because the human beings are prone to four defects. So what are the four defects? The four defects is the human beings have imperfect senses, and his senses are imperfect. As our eyes are imperfect. We can see only to a little distance. Our ears are imperfect. We can hear to a little, we have limitations in hearing. So because of these imperfect senses, our knowledge are also imperfect. Okay. Batteries, wait a minute. Hare Krishna. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay. So as we were discussing that there are two ways of acquiring knowledge, that is the Aro Pantha and the Avro Pantha. So as the Aro Pantha, we are discussed that it's imperfect because of the four defects, that our senses are imperfect and we have the tendency to cheat others, as we can see very well in our personal lives, all these tendencies. So that we all have the tendencies to cheat others little bit. Some has little bit tendency, some have more, depending upon what the character the person has. And the third is we have the tendency to get illusioned. Sometimes, like if the Prabhupada often gives this example that if the night is there, though sometimes we get illusion that seeing the rope lying on the ground, we take it as a snake. So all of us have a tendency to get illusioned. Okay. So and the fourth is to commit mistakes. So we all have the tendency to commit mistakes. unknowingly or knowingly we commit mistakes. So because of these 4 defects, our knowledge acquiring, whatever knowledge we have acquired is imperfect. Okay, so we cannot rely on this knowledge. So what knowledge should be relied on? That should be perfect. It shouldn't change. Like, for example, we are seeing nowadays that the scientists, whatever theories they are inventing, it keeps on changing. So why it keeps on changing? Because they have imperfections. They're not perfect. So because of that, the knowledge keeps on changing. So that's why the theory keeps on changing. But these Vedic literatures, that Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, it's said 5,000 years before, and still if we read it, as we read this Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, we see that the knowledge is totally perfect and it's still applicable in our present day life. Why? Because it's given by the Supreme Lord. Okay, and who is Aparushya. That means he is beyond the imperfections of a human being. Okay, so the second path is the Avropantha, that is the knowledge coming from the acharyas. Okay, the knowledge coming from the authorities. So this is the deductive process, and this is the perfect process. That is the Vedic, that is based on the Vedic literatures, as we already discussed, that it's written, is given by the Supreme Lord. Evam parampara praptam, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that this knowledge, as Krishna says, that the Bhagavad Gita knowledge is already given to Vivaswan, the sun god, millions of years before, and now it's coming into you, Arjuna. So like that, our knowledge comes in parampara. Okay, so that's why it's bona fide, it's authentic. Okay, so we have to have faith in the Vedic knowledge. And what is a Vedic society? The Vedic society is that which is based on the Vedic literatures. Okay, so as we say that the Vedic society, because the Vedic knowledge is perfect, and as the Vedic society is based on the Vedic knowledge that is given in the Vedic literature, so it's also perfect. Okay, so now today we will discuss how the Vedic society is structured. So today we'll discuss that, how Vedic society. So, but we'll not touch all these points. We'll only touch the marriage point. Okay, so this is how it goes. So, so we see that the Vedic society is organized in pursuance of the Varnashram system. In the Vedic society, it's organized in pursuance of the Varnashram system, which are the 4 Varnas and the 4 Ashramas. Okay, so what are the 4 Varnas? The Brahman, the Kshatriya, the Vaishya, and the Shudra. And what are the 4 Ashramas? The Brahmachari, the Grahas, and the Vanprastha, and the Sannyas. And as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Varnam Maya Shishtam Guna Karma Mukti Vibhagasha. So in the Varnashram society, the society is divided on the basis of Guna and Karma. That means the society is divided on the basis of the qualities the person has acquired and according to the work or according to the taste he has developed. Okay, so it's a very different society. The Varnashram society is very different. It's based on the quality, the character. That means the inherent quality a person has acquired based on the previous karma, based on the desires that he had in the previous life, and based on that, whatever qualities he has acquired in this life and whatever taste he has acquired for doing an activity, based on that, there is division of the society. Okay, so if a person, Prabhupada says that if in the person, the mode of goodness is more, okay, and he's more inclined to read Shastras, to teach others, he has a teaching tendency, he has a reading tendency. If such type of tendencies is there in a person, and also the qualities, because in the Brahmanas, all these qualities are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, also in Bhagavad Gita, the qualities of a Brahmana, simplicity, austerity, and there's so many qualities of Brahmana. So if a person is, if such qualities are seen in a person, and that basis, the person is just as a Brahmana. Okay, so if the mode of passion is more prominent in a person, so on that basis, the person is just as a Kshatriya. But now in today's society, as we see that it's all based on education, and it's all based on the birthright, whatever in which family he has taken birth, based on that there is division, and based on the education. If a person has got educated, if a person is educated, if he has done B.Ed, if he has done M.Ed, then he can become a teacher. Okay, and if a person is acquired, he has done PhD, he has done medical science, so he can become a doctor. He can, so depending on the education degree, whatever is acquired, a person is just that whatever he can become. So the division is made. Similarly, the politicians, if a person is very expert in political science or doing politics, so he can become a neta, he can become a leader. But the leadership, the people did not say, people didn't see the qualities of a leader. That is based on the Shastras. Whatever in the Shastras, the qualities of a leader is there. That is not the basis of a person making being a leader. This we can clearly see in the society. So the Varnashram system has totally vanished in the present day society. And because of all these, this is the main factor of such chaos society that we are seeing. Okay, so because the Varnashram system has almost demolished, almost destroyed, because of that, all these problems we are facing, as we are seeing today, marriages of girls and regarding this frustration and depression a person is having, regarding unemployment, corruption, whatever problems we are saying, the present day society is all because the Varnashram system is totally abolished. Because see, as we see, Krishna has given Bhagavad Gita for the day-to-day life, for the human beings in this material world, for the spiritual advancement. But at the same time, Krishna has given system in which a person can live properly, a social system, and that is called a Varnashram system. Because everybody cannot be fully on the spiritual platform, na? Most of the people will be on the bodily platform. So Krishna has designed a social system in which all person can live peacefully and can advance spiritually. Okay, so because of that, Krishna has made a system, and that is called a Varnashram system, which is very important for the overall spiritual upliftment of the society. Okay, so this is, but because of the, this is actually the, what we can say, this is actually the instrument of Kali only, that Kali is destroying this Varnashram system, so that the weapon, this is only a weapon of Kali, that the Varnashram system is getting destroyed. So we don't want to become part of it. We will definitely try to implement Varnashram system in our own life to advance spiritually. Okay, so the Vedic system is that, as we see that the Vedic system, according to the Vedic system, it's relevant for all the people. Whatever the Vedic system is there, which is based on the Vedic literatures, it's relevant for all the people at all the times, at all the places. Okay, it's not like that the Vedic system is the Vedic society, the Vedic system which were prevalent in the previous societies is not relevant now. It's relevant at all the time, for all the places, and not for all the people. It's relevant all the times. Okay, this is also very important. And it's designed in such a way, the Vedic system is designed in such a way that people can live peacefully and at the same time make spiritual advancement. So this is also very important. And within this Vedic society, but now within this Vedic society, there are many points, as I already told you, but we'll discuss the topic of marriage. Okay, so the directions that are given in the Vedas regarding marriage. So first of all, according to the Vedic injunction, we should know that marriage was considered to be according to the Vedic injunctions, marriage was considered to be a sacred pact. Okay, never to be broken. So according to the Vedic system, marriage was considered to be a sacred pact. It's very sacred, it's pure, and it's a pact that is never to be broken. It's not like that after a few years and after a few months, as the husband and wife will become frustrated, and then they will say, okay, now we should leave, and you are on your own way and I'm on my own way. Okay, so you choose another partner and I will also choose another partner. No, it's not like that. Marriage shouldn't be broken. Never it should be broken. And the family members would support and care for each other until death. So till death, both the family members, all the family members and the husband and wife, and all the support and care, whatever they are getting, it's till death. It's not that some quarrel is there and they will just get separated. No. According to the Vedic system, the marriage should be everlasting. Till death, it should continue. Okay, and we see in the Shastras also, in Mahabharata, Ramayana, we see that the husband and wife are so attached to each other Because as I already said that the marriage was based on commitment, it was based on sacrifice. So husband and wife were so attached to each other. There's so much affection that after the death of the husband, the wife was so attached to the husband that she desired to get burned along with on the pyre of the husband. Okay, so that was the strong bond between the husband and wife. And now what we see now in the present day society, we see that that in small fights, in small quarrel, the husband and wife get separated, isn't it? So that is a big difference we can see in present day society, in the previous society, as we see in Mahabharata and Ramayana, that the wife was so much that she doesn't want to enjoy this material world in the absence of the husband. She didn't want to see anything in the absence of the husband. She wanted to just die along with the husband. So that was the strong bondage between husband and wife, as we can see in the ages of Mahabharata and Ramayana. As in the case of Pandu, we can see Pandu has two wives, Kunti and Madri. So Madri became Sati with Pandu, and Kunti was left because she has to take care of her children. So this was the thing in the Vedic society, and now such a vast difference we can see in the relationship between husband and wife. Okay, so this Prabhupada often used to quote in the say in the different lectures regarding the bondage between husband and wife. So we should think that we are there, we are citizens of India, as we often used to say, and what India used to be before, what kind of wife in Indian society we have, that she voluntarily used to get burned along with the husband. So this type of sacrifice, this type of bondage is there in Indian society. And now we can very well see that in small fights and small quarrel, because of too much ego is there with the wife, she wants to, with a small fight, because she doesn't want to lower her ego, she wants to get separated from her husband and she wants to marry again. So see the vast difference we can see, isn't it? If somebody wants to say in this, somebody wants to comment on this. Anybody wants to comment on this point?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Shweta Mataji. You want to say something?
Mataji, I cannot speak in English very well. मैं हिंदी में बोलना चाहती हूँ.
Yes, बोलिए Mataji, no problem.
माता जी, ये जो पॉइंट आपने बोला, ये तो हम तो हर जगह अभी तो देख रहे हैं कि छोटी इनफैक्ट डिवोर्स केसेस जब एनालाइज करते हैं, उनको पता तक नहीं है कि क्यों डिवोर्स करना चाहते हैं हम. एक बार झगड़ा हुआ मतलब चलो छोड़ देते हैं. तो इसका कारण कि मतलब इतना ईगो क्यों आ चुका है अभी लड़कियों में, मतलब कुछ भी बोले तो उनका घमंडी कुछ और है.
Yes, Mataji, that's the reason. No, that's the reason we are here to discuss. That's the reason, because Varnashram system has totally, that's what it said. That's what I said. Na, ki Varnashram system has totally gone nowadays. Totally abolished, totally destroyed. Because there's no training. The girls have no training at all. Since childhood, they are trained to go out to schools, to have co-ed education, to mingle with boys. So how we can expect chastity from such girls? How we can see that they should be so bonded with their husband? See what Prabhupada says. We have to understand what Prabhupada is and what acharyas have said regarding this. Prabhupada says that girls should be married at a very right age. Okay. Now, previously, if you see in the Vedic society, girls were married at a very early age. Okay. Generally, we see that our grandmothers, our grandfathers, and even grandmothers, they were married at an early age. So what was the reason behind? The reason behind is what Prabhupada is saying in one of his purports. Prabhupada is very nicely explaining actually in one of his purports regarding this. Prabhupada is saying that in one of the Bhagavad Gita lecture, Prabhupada is saying that the psychology is that if a woman is married to the first man she meets, and if she is kept carefully, she becomes a staunch lover. So this is the psychology. The psychology is that if the woman is married at a very early age, then the first boy she met, because at the early age she got married, immediately after puberty she is married. So she fell in love with that boy only who is her husband. Okay, so at that time the psychology is that she become a staunch lover of their husband, because at that time generally scientific research say that the feeling that a girl has the feeling of sexual satisfaction that the girl has at the time of puberty is very strong. Okay, so at that time, if she is married, then the first boy that she met and gets sexually satisfied is her husband. So there will be a strong bond between the husband and wife at that time, and that will be till death. That will be lifelong. Okay, okay, Mataji. So this is what Prabhupada is saying, that it's better that a girl is married at a very early age. Now the question may be raised that how is it practical in the present day society? If we see, that somebody can say, okay, Mataji is telling that a girl should be married at the right age. That means at an early age, before the girls were married at the age of 11 or 12. Okay, so now is it practical? Is it practical nowadays that a girl can be married at the age of 11 or 12? No, it's generally, yeah, yes.
अभी तो माता जी प्रैक्टिकल नहीं है, क्योंकि 11 12 तो इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ही तो चेंज कर दिया है कि 18 के बिलो तो जेल हो जाएगा उनका.
Yes, the Indian, according to the Indian constitution, a girl should be 16. Am I right, Mataji? She should be 16 or 18.
Yes, 18, but nowadays it also becomes it मतलब 21 हो गया, मतलब जिस दूर तक मैं जानती हूँ. For girl 18, लेकिन 21 होगा, ये बातचीत चल रहा है, तो कितना खराब होता जाएगा.
But generally it's said that Prabhupada often writes in the books that sooner the better. Okay, it's not congenial nowadays to marry at the age of 11. Yeah, it's not practical, because everybody knows that we have to educate the girls, because nowadays education is so important. She has to educate her children. So many considerations we see. Okay, definitely it's true. But what are the defects of late marriages? We have to understand that also. So one of the defects what Prabhupada says of late marriages is that, as we can see, as we see now, the divorce rate is increasing. So why is it that there was no such thing before, and there is so much rampant, it's getting so much rampant in today's society? Why is this difference coming? So the first and foremost thing Prabhupada says, that because of the late marriage, what happens when there is late marriage? So when there is late marriage, the girl has already developed his own independent thinking. She has created her own independent thinking. She has developed her own independent life, separate independent life. Okay, because she has grown old now. She has gone to the college. She's seeing boys, and that attraction towards the opposite sex has already arisen in her heart. She wants to fulfill that. And because the parents are not getting her married at the right age, so because of that, she is just searching that who can be her right partner. Understood? So because she has already developed that independent thinking before the marriage, but and that when she get married at the age of 30 or at the age of 25, 26 or 30, already that independent, the seed of independent thing is already rooted in her heart. So after marriage, because she has already lived a life of independence, such a long life of independence, that independence is still there in the heart. So after marriage, that independence always pinches to surrender her false ego before the husband. Understood? Because before what we see in the Vedic society, that the girl is married at very early age, not big, 11, 12, 13, 14, maximum 15. So at that time, she generally stays in the protection of her parents. So that type of independence she has not seen, because she's so small. No? So how can that independent thinking be rooted in her heart? So there's no independent thinking. Why? Because as soon as she grows old, she's married. Then she again comes in the protection of her husband. Then, okay, so that type of independence, there is no chance, there is no space of being her independent. So that's why marriages are more stable. Okay, so it's a very important thing, that why late marriages are resulting in increasing the divorce rate, because girls are because girls are getting independent more and more nowadays because of this co-ed education. Because education has become compulsory. Everybody wants to make her girl educated, at least till MEd or post-graduation or till PhD. Girls are getting doctor degree, girls are getting engineer degree, so many big degrees girls are getting. Okay, but okay, practically if we see, no problem. But to Prabhupada says that sooner the better. As soon, if the education is complete, then don't wait. The parent should get her girl married as soon as possible. Then don't wait much, because as long as we wait, because actually the second thing what Prabhupada says regarding late marriages is actually health-wise, physically also, the girl should be married as early as possible, because she has to deliver children. So as early as possible she is married, then the fertility rate is also very high, and she will not incur much problems in delivering a child. So that's why, Mataji, we can see in the present day society, we can see that there is so much problems among husband and wife in delivering one child. That's why you can see that there is so much like this, what is called, for delivering a child, there is IVF, what is called, I don't know. Anybody knows here? What is called that in delivering a child? New system has invented. What is called that? In vitro?
In vitro fertilization.
In vitro fertilization. Okay. Yeah, IVF. The in vitro fertilization is it before 50 years. Does anybody know this in vitro fertilization? Why is it increasing day by day? Why? Because the fertility rate is decreasing. Because I know so many families that delivering one child for a mother is becoming so difficult. Why? Because of the late marriages, Mataji. Because of the late marriages, the fertility rate is decreasing. Day by day, it's decreasing because the girls are getting educated. And then after education, it's almost 25, 26 years. Then after education, she waits, she goes for job, she wants to do job. And then she gets 28, 29, then she gets married. And after marriage also, okay, let's have some space. Let's, because after children, the independence is gone. So generally after marriage, people, the husband and wife thinks that, okay, just wait for 1 or 2 years. And after that, we will plan for a child. So because of all these things, because of this artificial imposition on us, this thing is coming, this infertility is coming in our life, in the husband and wife life. Okay, so this is very important. So this late marriages is actually, because of this late marriage, so many problems are coming in the society. Yeah, practically if we see, Prabhupada says for this, that the girl should be married as soon as possible. If she completes her education, she should be married. This is what Prabhupada says. So this is the thing. Okay, so now we will discuss few points of marriages. So according to the Vedic injunction, okay, according to the Vedic injunction, marriage, what is said in the Vedas, that marriages was considered to be a sacred pact, never to be broken, that we already discussed. And second thing is that according to the Vedic injunctions, children were traditionally educated. In the Vedic system, children were traditionally educated from the young age. Because see, Prabhupada says that stable marriages give stable families. Stable marriages produces stable families, and stable families produces good children. Okay, if the family is stable, husband and wife are devoted to each other, husband is responsible, wife is devoted and faithful, then they produce good children. Okay, and these good children, they are educated properly, they are trained properly to become brahmacharis. So they become responsible and religious householders who follow Dharma. So this is how stable marriage is very much important, because stable marriages produces, if the marriage is stable, then only the family will be stable. No? Okay, so this is how the flow goes. And then they will produce good children, and these good children will be good citizens of the society, and there will be peace in the society, and the society will advance spiritually. So this is how the link goes. Okay, so for this, the first point that we discussed, that first thing is that the girl should be carefully protected and married at the right age, that we discussed. And Srila Prabhupada says that this is the psychology of the girls, that if they're married at the right age, they become more devoted to her husband. Okay. Now, second thing is that marriages should be arranged by the parents. marriages should be, second point is regarding marriage is that marriages should be arranged by the parents for their children in consultation with the qualified astrologers. In consultation with the qualified astrologers to ensure good compatibility. Okay, so this is also very important, that marriages should be arranged by the parents, not by the girl or the boy. This is very, because why is it so? Because when they are very young, when girls and boys are very young, maybe 20s or 18 years old or 19 or 20s or 21, at that time, physical attraction is more prominent. The girls get attracted to a boy very easily because of the physical attraction she has. Okay, so because of that, it's very easy that the girls fall in love with the boy and the boy fall in love with the girl. So for that, Prabhupada says very for love marriages. What Prabhupada says about love marriages. Yes. So what Prabhupada says about love marriages is based on infatuation. Infatuation means lust, not love, and is therefore risky. If people fall in love and then fall out of love, there never was any real love at all. Because generally system, as we see that a person fall in love and we very as easily he fall in love and as easily fall out of love, because it's all based on physical attraction. It's all based on bodily attraction. Okay, so the Prabhupada says that love marriages is based on lust, that is not love, and is therefore very risky. Okay, so if it was simply an obsession caused by imagination, false expectations, and lust. So, so it's written that as a young Bangladeshi, there is one young Bangladeshi devotee who describes his experiences when he went to America. So a young Bangladeshi went to America and he described his experiences. He says that what the Bangladeshi says, he said that the Americans make a big show of love. When a man drops his wife off to work, they do this big kiss in the public. Okay, but then they fight and divorce as easily as they kiss. In our country, so the Bangladeshi says that in our country, we never even talk about love, and we certainly don't make a big show of it. Getting? That Bangladeshi went to America and he saw that the Americans kiss the husband and wife. When the husband drops a wife off the car, they give a big kiss in the public. Okay, that means they show to the public that they love so much. So the Bangladeshi is saying that in our country, that means in Bangladesh or in India also, which is very close to Bangladesh, the culture is very similar. So in India also, we never even talk about love. That the husband and wife, they don't much talk about love, and we certainly don't make a big show of it. The husband and wife don't make a bigger show of it in the public. Okay, there's no need, because it's automatically there. There's no question of a wife not loving her husband, because it's so natural in India or in Bangladesh. The culture is so natural that the husband, there is no need of a husband showing a love to the wife in public or a wife showing a love to the husband in the public, because it's so natural. It's understood that the wife loves the husband and husband loves the wife. Okay, so there's no question of a wife not loving her husband. Naturally, she loves her husband because he is her husband. So the tendency is that naturally the wife loves her husband and the husband. There's why to make a show. There's no need to make a show. So many Americans asked that Bangladeshi about arranged marriages. And the Americans asked that Bangladeshi that how can you marry someone you never met? That how is it possible that a person can marry someone you never met? How can you love them? So I tell them, so that Bangladeshi said that I tell them that your system is to fall in love before marriage, but we fall in love after marriage. That's what the Bangladeshi told, that your system is you fall in love before marriage, but our system is that we fall in love after marriage. The difference is that afterwards you fall out of love as easily as you fell into it. Yes. So what the Bangladeshi is telling, what the Bangladeshi told to that American person, that your system is to fall in love with we fall in love after marriage, and the difference is that afterwards you fall out of love as easily as you fall into it, and you think nothing of falling out of marriage also. That we don't do. So as easily as you fall in love, as easily you fall out of love. That is your system. But in our system, we never fall in love so easily. And that's why we never fall out of love so easily. That is what that Bangladeshi told that American. So this is what Prabhupada says about love marriages. That's why Prabhupada is telling that marriage should be arranged by the parents. And as we see in the ancient society, in the Vedic society, that the marriages were generally arranged by the parents only. If we talk to our mother or our grandparent, if you ask that how your marriage has been arranged, then they will say that we never saw the boy before. Even if I sometimes discuss my mother regarding marriage, and she said that there was no system of a girl seeing the boy before marriage. It's only on the day of the marriage that the girl sees the boys for the first time. Yeah, we can, all these things definitely seems to be impractical or insensible. That if we speak all these things in today's life, but regarding this also Prabhupada says, regarding this also what it says, that simply by respecting and appreciating the teachings and examples given in the Vedic literatures, while gradually learning to follow them. Okay, so simply by respecting and appreciating the teachings, the Vedic teachings and the examples given in the Vedic literature, while gradually learning to follow them according to our capacity, we can ultimately attain the highest goal. Okay, so this is what is written. What it's written, that even though all these statements, Vedic statements, seems to be very impractical to us. कि ओ ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है, जल्दी शादी, it's not practical, फिर शादी के पहले लड़का लड़की एक दूसरे को ना देखें, it's impossible. All these things seems to be impossible. But what Prabhupada is saying, that simply by respecting and appreciating the Vedic culture, that we simply respect the Vedic culture and appreciate it, that such a nice, such a rich Vedic culture we had in our India, we are respecting it. Even if we are not, even if it's not practical in the present day society, still we are respecting it and we are adoring it, that oh, such a nice, such a rich Vedic culture India has. We are not against it. Okay, so by doing this and by gradually learning to follow them also according to our capacity, whatever capacity we have, we try to follow it. That if our marriage is going on, like regarding marriages, at least we cannot follow the system, but at least some points we can follow. If we have to see the boy and the girl has to see each other, no problem. But then we can restrict some of the things. For example, roaming here and there before marriage, going to some places before marriage, having physical relationship before marriage. These are all against the Vedic literature, and simply we can definitely follow all these things. These are all these things we can definitely, these are all practical things we can definitely follow. We can do it. Okay, so these are some of the things we can definitely follow. So Prabhupada is saying that while we should gradually learn all these things according to our capacity, and by doing this, we can ultimately attain to the highest goal. So by doing this, we can definitely attain the highest goal, whatever is practical for us to follow. Okay, so this is very important. So Prabhupada is telling that we should go for astrological calculations. So some people have difference of opinion regarding this astrology, but see, we have to understand that Prabhupada says that yes, for pure devotees, the astrology is irrelevant because he is fully surrendered to the Lord. But because we have not fully surrendered to the Lord and we are not pure devotees, definitely we should go for this astrological calculation. Okay, this will definitely help us for our marriages to be more stable. Okay, so this is very important, and the Prabhupada is telling that that marriages shouldn't be simply by agreement, and the husband that the boy gets attracted to the girl because of his bodily beauty, physical beauty, and the girl gets attracted to the boy simply by his beauty, and they both get simply by agreement, they both get married. No, the more easily the marriages are tied up, the more easily the marriages are broken and end up in divorce. That is what Prabhupada is saying, that the more easily the marriages are tied up, jitna asani se marriages are tied up, the more easily the marriages are broken. Okay, and then end in divorce. So as in Bhagavad Gita also, we can see that it's very in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that which is nectar in the beginning and is poison at the end is in the mode of passion, and that leads to frustration. Okay, so that which seems to be nectar in the beginning, when the husband and when the boy and the girl are getting attracted, physically attracted because of the bodily beauty, and they are not considering the character and the likings and the taste. They're not considering this astrological calculation. They're not considering. They're just considering the bodily beauty. On the physical platform only, they are marrying and getting tied up with each other. So it's maybe nectar in the beginning, but then eventually it becomes poison. Poison. Why? Because they are doing it on the mode of passion, and then this mode of passion will leads to frustration. Okay, and what is it? What happiness is in the mode of goodness? In the mode of goodness, that may be poison in the beginning. Okay, that may taste like, that may be bitter in the beginning, but it will be nectar at the end. So that is happiness in the mode of goodness. So marriage is definitely arranged by the parents, based by seeing the character, by seeing the likings of the boy, and not based on the boy's material acquisitions, is may definitely be poison in the beginning. हमें अच्छा नहीं लगेगा beginning में, शायद it will not taste good, it will not we will not feel good about it, but in the end it will be like nectar. And as we see in the Shastra, there are so many examples. For example, there's the marriage of Shiva and Sati. So Sati was a princess, okay, and Shiva has no house. Lord Shiva has no house, no proper clothes, nothing. Lord Shiva has, but still Sati got married to Lord Shiva because he was a pure devotee. He was a great devotee of the Lord. So just by seeing the character of a person, we can see the Vedic literature. There are so many examples of a girl getting married to a boy. So we should learn from that how marriages should be there in the present society. We should learn from that. Okay, so this is very important. So Prabhupada is saying that if the girl is attached to husband, the husband is surrendered to one. So if the girl is attached to the husband, as we already discussed, that if the marriages are if we go for early marriages, and if the girl is attached to her husband, and the best thing is, if the husband is surrendered to a bona fide spiritual master and is firmly fixed up in his service, then automatically the wife of such a husband inherits all the benefits of spiritual advancement. So it's so simple for a wife. See, it's so simple for a wife to have spiritual advancement, that if the wife is attached to her husband, and the husband is surrendered to a bona fide spiritual master and is fixed up in his service, and he's just rendering service to the Supreme Lord and to his Guru, then automatically because the wife is faithful to her husband and she is sincerely rendering service to her husband, she gets all the benefits of spiritual advancement. So this is a great boon to a wife. Okay, so this is very important. Few points I want to share from women masters and mothers, that Gurudev is writing, that now marriages, how the marriages are getting arranged. Like previously it was said that marriages are made in heaven. We all used to say that, "Arey, शादियां तो ब्रह्मा जी द्वारा, जोड़ी तो ब्रह्मा जी बनाते हैं." This is a very popular saying in India, that जोड़ी ब्रह्मा जी बनाते हैं. मित्र या संबंधी तो ठीक है, पर जोड़ी जो होती है, लड़का लड़की की जोड़ी है, वो ब्रह्मा जी बना के भेजते हैं. So the marriages are made in heaven, but now Gurudev is writing that marriages are more likely to be made over internet. So most of the marriages are made now in internet. That through internet, the girl and boy meets, and then eventually they start chatting, WhatsApp, and so many things are there, and then they get attracted, and then they meet each other, and the marriages takes place. So this is the difference in before marriages and today's marriages. And second thing is, but Gurudev is writing that it's better that before marriage, boy and girl would not see each other. The best thing is that boy and girl shouldn't chat with each other. Nowadays, it's actually getting very rampant nowadays. That as soon as it's not even decided that the boy is going to be her husband, chatting starts in WhatsApp. The first thing that starts is chatting on the WhatsApp. And then they start chatting, they do WhatsApp, they're chatting, then the video calling and this calling, and then Instagram, and so many things they do, then try to meet each other, and then they meet each other, and so many things goes. And then after that, they get married. So most of the things happens before marriage only. So this is actually loophole. So Gurudev is writing, it's better that before marriage, the boy and girl would not meet each other. if we think that it's not practical, at least something we can follow, at least some distance we can keep before marriage. Okay. Now, second thing is that even among Gurudev is writing, even among ISKCON devotees, physical appearance can be a deciding factor in selecting a spouse. Even in ISKCON, we see that we see the photo of a girl sees a photo of a boy, and then by seeing the physical beauty, the marriages takes place. But Gurudev is writing that, but physical attraction is short-lived and illusory. It's a trick of Maya to think that beautiful face must indicate a beautiful personality. So it's a trick of Maya to think that beautiful face indicate a beautiful personality. It's not compulsory. It's not compulsory that the sweet face must have a sweet personality. Is it compulsory that a sweet face must have a sweet should have a sweet personality? If somebody has a sweet face, then definitely that person must have a sweet personality. Is it compulsory? Can we say that it's compulsory? Somebody wants to say about this? Is it compulsory that somebody has a sweet face, that person must have a sweet personality? Is it compulsory?
No.
Yes, it's not compulsory. It's not compulsory that that person has a sweet face and uska sweet personality bhi hoga. Okay. So this is so we should be very cautious that we should not compensate. We should not compensate for bad character. We can compensate for physical appearance. This is very important thing, that we can compensate for physical appearance, but we should not compensate for bad character person. This is very important for those who are not who are not married yet. That we should compensate. We should not compensate for bad character, but we can compensate for physical appearance. थोड़ा सुंदर नहीं है तो चलेगा, पर अगर चरित्र नहीं है तो नहीं चलेगा. We should think like this. Okay. So to live with an inquisitively beautiful person who is selfish and arrogant is likely to be hellish. So what Gurudev is writing in Women Masters Mothers, that to live with a beautiful person, that your husband is very beautiful, yeah, that your wife is very beautiful, but she is very selfish and arrogant, is likely to be hellish. It's better that we choose such a person who has a good character, even if he's physically not very beautiful, even if he's materially not very opulent. He doesn't have so much property, so much land, so much wealth, no problem. But if his character is good, then we can go for that person. That is the best thing we can opt for in marriage for all the girls. This is a statement for all the girls, Prabhupada, that we should not compensate for the bad character. We can compensate for the physical appearance, but we should not compensate for the bad character. Okay. Third thing is the real formula is that the husband, what is the real formula for marital success? What Gurudev is writing in Women Masters of Mother, that the real formula for marital success is that husband should be responsible. Husband should be responsible for his family members, for his dependent wife, for his children. Husband should be responsible, and wife should be faithful and submissive. The husband should be responsible. This is for the husband. Okay. And for the wife should be faithful and submissive. And third thing is that both should have Krishna consciousness as their ultimate goal. These three things is the real success formula for marital success. This is what Gurudev is writing in Women Masters and Mothers. These three things. First is the husband should be responsible and should be of good character. He's not talking about the physical appearance or the material properties or material prospects that the acquisitions that the husband has got. No, the husband should be responsible and should be of good character. The wife should be submissive and faithful to her husband. And third thing is both should be having Krishna consciousness as the ultimate goal. If these three things are there, then this marriage will be successful. Okay, so this is what Gurudev is writing. Okay, so now another thing that we should see what Shastras say, what is written in Shastras about marriages is character. So what Shastra says about character? That if we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, there is a story of Kardam Muni. Okay, there is a story of Kardam Muni where Kardam Muni wants to marry her 9 daughters. He is searching for her husband of the. He is searching for the husbands of her 9 daughters. Okay, then Brahma came. And what Brahma gave instructions to Kardam Muni? Brahma says that please give away your daughters to the foremost sages with due regard for the girls according to their temperaments and likings. Atastam rishi mukhebhyo yatha shilam yatha ruchihi. Atmajaha paride adya vistrinihi yasho bhuvi. Okay, so what Brahma is telling, that give up your daughters, O Kardam Muni, give up your daughters to the foremost sages according to their temperaments and likings. So according to the whatever the temperament, whatever the likings, whatever the taste your girls have developed, according to that you give up your daughters to that particular sage. So this is how we should judge. So this should be, we should learn from the Shastras how the marriages are being, we should be arranged according to Lord Brahma, what Lord Brahma is telling regarding marriages. So this is very important, that we should judge, we should marry according to what the girl has developed, whatever the girl's likings and taste is there, according to that. And this can be just, whatever the liking or taste is there, this can be just based on the astrological analysis. If you go for the astrological analysis of the boy and the girl, the astrologer can judge if there is compatibility between the likings and taste of the boy and the girl is there or not. Okay, so this is very important. The parents, even about 40 years ago in Indian marriages, the taste and character of the boy and the girl were first of all matched, and then they were allowed to marry. This was done under the direction of the respective parents. The parents used to astrologically determine the character and taste of the boy and the girl, and when they corresponded, the match was selected. This girl and this boy are just suitable in character and taste, and they should be married. Other considerations were not very important. The same system was advised in the beginning of the creation by Brahma. Okay, so this was the same system was advised in the beginning of the creation by Lord Brahma. That we should go for the character and taste of the boy and the girl. Okay, and other considerations like physical appearance and material acquisitions and wealth, property, all these things are secondary considerations. So this is what the Vedic Shastras say. Second is the Varna. Yes, Varna is also very important, because in Mahabharata it's written there are 2 types of marriages, Anilom Vivaha and Pratilom Vivaha. Okay, so Anilom Vivaha means compatible marriages, and Pratilom Vivaha means incompatible marriages. So in marriages also, this is very, the Varna should be seen. At the first of all, the Varna should be judged according, as I already told in the beginning of the class, that the Varna should be judged according to the quality and according to the taste that person has, whether he's a Brahman, whether he's a Kshatriya, whether he's a Vaishya and a Shudra. And a Brahman boy should, the best match for a Brahman boy is a Brahman girl. The Brahman boy can go a little less, that he can marry a Kshatriya girl also. A Brahman boy can marry a Kshatriya girl, but not before Kshatriya, not below Kshatriya. That he shouldn't opt for a Vaishya girl or a Shudra girl. That is not compatible. But the best match for a Brahman boy is that the Brahman boy should marry a Brahmin girl or a Kshatriya girl, but not below that. Okay, and same for a Kshatriya girl. The Kshatriya girl should marry a Kshatriya boy. Okay, so this is all compatible marriages. Anilom Vivaha. Anilom Vivaha produces good children. Okay, and Pratilom Vivaha produces Varna Shankar Praja. So most of the marriages today are Pratilom Vivaha. So that's why there is so much increase of Varna Shankar Praja today. So these are the Anilom Vivaha and the Pratilom Vivaha. Okay. Third thing is nature. As we see, that Prabhupada is telling in Srimad Bhagavatam 9.18.23 purport, a person is born in one of 3 categories known as Devgana, Manushyagan and Rakshasgan. So if we go for the astrological analysis, we can see these 3 things. Some maybe you know or not, you don't know, I don't know, but if we go for this astrological analysis, we can see that there is the Okay, so if we see for the if we go for the astrological analysis, we can see that the person may be born in the Devgan or in the Rakshashagan. Okay, so this is also important. Pious human beings who are advancing spiritually belong to Devgan, the divine nature. Those who are on the opposite side of the spectrum fall under the Rakshasgan, the demonic nature, and those who are in between the two belong to the Manushyagan, the human nature. So while going for the marriages, we should see all these things. According to astrological calculation, a person is classified according to whether he belongs to the godly or the demonic quality. A girl of godly quality should be handed over to a boy of godly quality. A girl of demonic quality should be handed over to a boy of demonic quality. They will be happy. But if the girl is demonic and the boy godly, then the combination is incompatible. Okay, they cannot be happy in such a marriage. Hare Krishna. At the present moment, we can see that because the boys and girls are not married according to the quality and character, most marriages are unhappy and there is divorce. This is the clear statement of Prabhupada in, if you want to see, in the 3rd canto, 24th chapter, 15th verse, in the purport, you can see Prabhupada is writing like this. That at the present moment, because the boys and girls are not married according to the quality and character, most of the marriages are unhappy and they end in divorce. So these are all clear statements of Prabhupada in Srimad Bhagavatam and other Shastras. Okay, so this is also very important. Last thing is God. Last thing is God's grace. Another factor that is very important in getting married is the what Prabhupada is saying, that ultimately it is by the will of the providence that two individuals are brought together. So we are ultimately what we have to think, that actually it's the will of the providence, because if we are getting married to a person, it's all because of our whatever providence I have, whatever destiny I have got, whatever karma I have, because of that only I got such a person as my husband. So we should take it as a will of the providence, and we should just take it as a God grace and accept our husband. Whatever he is, we should accept it based on whatever karma we have done. We should think that whatever this was my karma in my previous life. So because of that, I have got my husband. So I should be satisfied with that. And whatever husband I've got, we should try to see all the positive things and try to ignore all the negative qualities my husband has. So if we think like this, then also the quarrel can be minimized. That we should try to see positive things in the person and try to ignore whatever negative the person has. Okay, so now I will conclude by saying one incident what Prabhupada is quoting. In one of the lectures, in one of the wedding lectures, what Prabhupada is telling. Prabhupada is telling that in the material world, we have to pass through many circumstances, but sometimes, even if it is intolerable, we have to tolerate it. So Prabhupada is telling that in the material world, we have to pass through many circumstances. So some circumstances may be intolerable, but we have to tolerate. According to the Hindu conception of life, even if there is some misunderstanding between the husband and wife, it should not be taken very seriously. So Prabhupada is giving the example of Mahatma Gandhi. Prabhupada
Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Madhuri. Because there is some internet instability, that's why. Yes, Madhuri. Okay, so Prabhupada is giving the example of Mahatma Gandhi. Prabhupada is telling that Mahatma Gandhi was married when he was only 16 years old, and his wife was also the same age. So one day what happened, there was a quarrel between the husband and the wife. Okay, there was a quarrel between Mahatma Gandhi and his wife, and Mahatma Gandhi has written in his own biography that he drove away his wife. And he drove away his wife outside the home. This is what Prabhupada is telling in one of his lectures. In the wedding, Prabhupada has gone in the wedding of one of his disciples, and Prabhupada is giving the lecture. And Prabhupada is quoting this incident. He is saying that one day there was a quarrel between Mahatma Gandhi and his wife, and because of that quarrel, Mahatma Gandhi drove away his wife out of the home. And Mahatma Gandhi said that you get out of my house and never come back. So the wife left the house and was crying in the street. But where shall she go? She cannot go anywhere. Where she moving? She cannot go anywhere. No, she has to just go out of the house. The husband said that she has to be out of the house only. Where shall she go? So just she was crying outside the house. And then she was crying. Then then after some time, Mahatma Gandhi went there and said to the wife, okay, come in. And then the wife come in and yes. Okay, so Prabhupada is telling that then after some time Mahatma Gandhi went out and said, okay, come in. So the wife came in and everything was just normal. So Prabhupada is telling that even between Mahatma Gandhi, that is not a very serious thing. It's not a very serious thing that in the Vedic society, before 50 years or 60 years, if we see in the traditional life, but they never think of divorce. There is a fight, the wife goes out, the husband goes out, but then after some time, everything will be normal. So Prabhupada is writing that this quarrel of husband and wife is not a very serious thing. And I request all of you that even if there is some misunderstanding between husband and wife, just for a few minutes, there must be misunderstanding, but then everything will be normal. That's why don't take it seriously. Simply you concentrate on the business of Krishna consciousness. Okay, so this is what Prabhupada is telling. Okay, so there is a lot of internet problems. Okay, anybody wants to say something? Anybody wants to ask? Yes, Shweta Mataji.
थैंक यू माता जी. हाँ माता जी, तो बहुत ही सुंदर क्लास था, लेकिन इंटरनेट का कुछ प्रॉब्लम था. तो माता जी मैं चाहती हूँ कि ऐसे ही टॉपिक बार बार आप देते रहिए और हम इनलाइटन होते रहिए वैदिक संस्कृति के. और माता जी मेरा एक रिक्वेस्ट था कि गुरु महाराज का जो बुक है वो हम रीडिंग सेशन स्टार्ट करें तो कैसा रहेगा?
Yes, Mother, definitely. मैं actually yes, women masters और mothers का actually मैंने चालू भी किया था reading sessions, पर फिर कई लोग मतलब इंग्लिश में बोल रहे थे, कोई हिंदी में बोल रहे थे, इसकी वजह से ठीक से चालू नहीं रह पाया. मैंने एक्चुअली चालू किया था women masters और mothers का रीडिंग सेशन चालू किया था, पर फिर वापस से वो हो गया. अगर कुछ लोग हैं इंटरेस्टेड जो रीडिंग सेशंस में आना चाहते हैं तो डेफिनेटली वी कैन स्टार्ट. अगर कुछ लोग इसमें जाना है women masters और mothers रीडिंग.
हाँ माता जी, गुरु महाराज का जो बुक्स है तो हम तो अकेले में नहीं समझ पाएंगे. आप तो सीनियर है, आपके गाइडेंस में कुछ रहेंगे तो हमको कुछ समझ में आएगा, इसलिए हम बोल रहे थे.
यस डेफिनेटली. मैं तो एक्चुअली ये महाराज का जो किताब है विमेन मास्टर्स मतलब मुझे तो मेरा फेवरेट बुक है एक्चुअली. मुझे तो कोई भी टॉपिक पे बोलना होता है तो मैं महाराज का विमेन मास्टर्स और मदर्स बोल के ही बोलती हूँ, क्योंकि महाराज ने सब कुछ लिख दिया, सब टॉपिक रिगार्डिंग विमेन डांसिंग, रिगार्डिंग विमेन एवरीथिंग, ऑल टॉपिक्स महाराज हैज कवर्ड. So there is no confusion. It's just a मतलब गाइड बुक फॉर अस.
हाँ माता जी
बुक्स तो मेरे पास है, बहुत सारा कोटेशंस.
हाँ बुक्स तो मेरे पास है, लेकिन गुरु महाराज का इतना कठिन इंग्लिश है, मैं इतना समझ नहीं पाती हूँ. तो आप अगर थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन कर देते तो बहुत अच्छा होता. तो उनका जो इंस्ट्रक्शन है मैं थोड़ा फॉलो करने की कोशिश कर पाती.
Yes, Mother, sure. Okay, so I will try to start a reading session. Let's see how many are interested. Yes, Mother. Yes, Mother.
माता जी मैं ये कह रही थी कि एजुकेशन जरूरी है. मतलब हमारे कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस में ऐसा कहते हैं कि गर्ल्स को इतना ज्यादा स्टडी नहीं करवाना चाहिए. तो
मतलब इसमें क्या है मतलब बेस जो गर्ल्स का जो एजुकेशन है वो बेसिकली पहले अगर देखा जाए वैदिक सोसाइटी में, किसी इन द वैदिक सोसाइटी, तो गर्ल्स का एजुकेशन बेसिकली घर में ही होता था। अगर हम पहले, मैं ऐसा नहीं बोल रही हूँ कि आप ये सुन के वो हो जाए, डिस्टर्ब हो जाए, या अरे ऐसा तो, ये तो प्रैक्टिकल नहीं है, कैसे हो सकता है। फर्स्ट लर्न कि क्या होता था ट्रेडिशनल सोसाइटीज में, क्या होता था, वी शुड नो ना, हमें जानना चाहिए ना ट्रेडिशनल सोसाइटीज में क्या होता था, कैसे गर्ल्स रहती थी। हम उसको कितना परसेंटेज इंप्लीमेंट कर पा रहे हैं, दैट इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग। उस टीचिंग को पहले ले, उसके बाद जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस है, भक्ति है। अब भक्ति के बारे में हम कितनी सारी चीज श्रीमद् भागवतम या गीता में पढ़ रहे हैं, ओके। तो अभी हम उसमें से कितना परसेंट इंप्लीमेंट कर पा रहे हैं, वो डिपेंड्स अपॉन अवर कैपेसिटी, अपॉन अवर सर्कमस्टांसेस, आवर सिचुएशन, ठीक है, वो अलग है। पर पहले हम उसको अप्रिशिएट करना सीखें, उसको जानने का प्रयास तो करें कि क्या है एग्जैक्टली, उसके क्या फायदे हैं, और उसमें से कुछ परसेंटेज जितना हमारी कैपेसिटी है उसको इंप्लीमेंट करने का प्रयास करें। दिस इज द फर्स्ट थिंग एक्चुअली वी शुड लर्न, ठीक है। अभी एजुकेशन, गर्ल्स एजुकेशन का सवाल है, तो वैदिक सोसाइटी में एक्चुअली गर्ल्स एजुकेशन घर में ही होता था। वो कुछ स्कूल वगैरह नहीं होते थे कि जहां उसको भेजा जाता था बाहर, क्योंकि बाहर जनरली जो लड़के होते थे उनको गुरुकुल भेजा जाता था, वो गुरु के अंडर में रहकर शिक्षा प्राप्त करते थे, और जो गर्ल्स होती थी उन्हें घर में माता पिता, फिर जो बड़े बुजुर्ग जो स्त्रियां होती है उनसे शिक्षाएं मिलती। तो ऐसा नहीं था कि, मैंने एक लेक्चर में सुना है कि ऐसा नहीं था कि गर्ल्स इलिटरेट होती थी, उन्हें कुछ बुद्धि नहीं, उनके नॉलेज नहीं होता था। अगर ऐसा था तो फिर कुंती महारानी और शकुंतला की टीचिंग्स अगर हम देखेंगे तो इतने एलिवेटेड कैसे थे। कुंती महारानी की टीचिंग्स तो श्रीमद् भागवतम में आते हैं, बड़े बड़े ऋषि उनके टीचिंग्स को गाते हैं और अपनाते हैं। अगर लेडीज को एजुकेशन नहीं था तो इतनी शास्त्रिक नॉलेज कैसे है उनको। महाभारत में हम देखते हैं, और इतनी बड़ी बड़ी स्त्रियां हैं, उनकी शिक्षाएं हैं, मदालसा, सती मदालसा, शी वाज सच अ टैलेंटेड मदर, कितनी शिक्षाएं उनकी आती है, उसकी शिक्षाओं को लोग गाते हैं, ऋषि मुनि गाते हैं। तो अगर स्त्रियों को एजुकेशन नहीं था तो फिर वो इतनी शिक्षा उनके पास आई कहां से। दिस इज द फर्स्ट थिंग ना, वी शुड थिंक अबाउट इट। दैट मीन्स कि एजुकेशन था, एजुकेशन मिलता था, पर वो घर में प्राप्त होता था, और दूसरा कि किस प्रकार का एजुकेशन प्राप्त होता था, शास्त्रिक एजुकेशन प्राप्त करते थे। क्योंकि आजकल एजुकेशन मतलब क्या, आजकल एजुकेशन मतलब स्कूल जाना, 4th 5th ग्रेड, 6th ग्रेड, 7th ग्रेड, 12th बोर्ड, फिर कॉलेज एजुकेशन, डिग्री। दिस इज व्हाट वी फील एजुकेशन, दिस इज व्हाट वी फील शिक्षा। ये शिक्षा मतलब हमारे लिए ये हो गया आजकल। पहले जमाने में शिक्षा मतलब ये नहीं, पहले जमाने में शिक्षा मतलब चरित्र का निर्माण, टू डेवलप अ गुड कैरेक्टर, टू एडवांस स्पिरिचुअली, टू नो अबाउट भक्ति, टू रीड शास्त्रार्थ, इसको एजुकेशन बोला जाता था, ठीक है। पर ठीक है, अभी प्रेजेंट डे सोसाइटी में जो भी सर्कमस्टांस है, तो प्रभुपाद भी लिखते हैं एक जगह, मैंने पढ़ा है एक जगह, मैं कोट भेज सकती हूँ ग्रुप में, प्रभुपाद भी लिखते हैं कि देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम कि गर्ल्स आर बीइंग एजुकेटेड, गर्ल्स को एजुकेशन मिल रहा है, नो प्रॉब्लम, बट दे शुड बी मैरिड एट अ राइट एज। दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। अगर हम बहुत लंबा गर्ल्स को एजुकेशन दे रहे हैं, ठीक है, अभी सर्कमस्टांस ऐसे हैं कि एजुकेशन चाहिए, क्योंकि शी आल्सो नीड्स टू ट्रेन हर चिल्ड्रन, और बहुत सारी जरूरत पड़ती है, बैंक में भी काम होता है, उसको जरूरत पड़ती है एजुकेशन की आजकल सोसाइटी में। पर सही समय पर शादी कर देना चाहिए, विवाह कर देना चाहिए। इसको ऐसा नहीं कि एजुकेशन प्राप्त हो गया तो भी घूम रही है, जॉब कर रही है, ये कर रही, नो, एजुकेशन दिलाइए, विवाह कर दो, राइट एज में विवाह करो। तो दिस वी कैन इम्प्लीमेंट। ये तो प्रैक्टिकल लग रहा है, इजंट इट प्रैक्टिकल नाउअडेज? यस। अगर पेरेंट्स, जैसे आपका क्वेश्चन है कि क्या एजुकेशन मिलना चाहिए, हाँ एजुकेशन मिलना चाहिए, घर में मिलना चाहिए, आइडियली घर में मिलना चाहिए। अगर घर में आप होम स्कूलिंग कर सकते हैं लड़कियों की, बेस्ट, उसमें सब उसको पढ़ाइए घर पे, नो प्रॉब्लम। ओपन स्कूलिंग से एग्जाम दिलाइए, नो प्रॉब्लम। पर कितना प्रैक्टिकल है वो देखना पड़ेगा, हाउ मच प्रैक्टिकल इट इज, ओके। So this is what Shastras say. This is what is written in the Vedas. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
थैंक यू सो मच
Okay.
माता जी। बट आप जो इंग्लिश में लेक्चर्स दे रहे हैं उसमें से थोड़ा सा हिंदी मिक्स करके देंगे?
Yes, I will try. अब मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि let's see, अगर सबको हिंदी ही चाहिए तो मैं हिंदी में ही बोलना शुरू कर दूंगी वापस से। If everybody wants to hear in Hindi, तो मैं हिंदी में ही बोलना चालू करूंगी। मुझे हिंदी में भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है।
तो माता जी आपने कहाँ तक एजुकेशन रखी है?
हाँ जी,
आपने कहाँ तक स्टडी की है?
मैंने मैंने तो
हाँ।
एक्चुअली मैंने पर्सनली माता जी, मैंने तो पता नहीं क्या भगवान की कृपा, मतलब ज्यादा मैं जब स्कूल में पढ़ती थी, तो स्कूल में जब 12th में थी, तभी मुझे भगवत गीता प्रभुपाद का मिला। तो फिर मैं तब से प्रभुपाद की भगवत गीता पढ़ रही हूँ। और गुरु, और जब 12th के बाद जब मेरे पापा मम्मी ने मुझे गुजरात भेजा कॉलेज में एजुकेशन लेने के लिए, वहां पे भी इसीलिए मेरे पापा मम्मी ने भेजा था क्योंकि गुजरात सेफ है लड़कियों के लिए, ऐसा सुना था उन्होंने। क्योंकि मेरे मामा, मेरे कुछ रिलेटिव्स रहते थे वहां पे, तो उनसे सुना था कि गुजरात गर्ल्स के लिए बहुत सेफ है। तो हम लोग राजस्थान के, तो हमने, मेरे पापा मम्मी ने वहाँ गुजरात में भेजा पढ़ने के लिए। तो वहां पे भी कॉलेज एजुकेशन जो मैंने लिया, उसमें भी मुझे डिवोटीज का सर्कल मिला, मेरे काउंसलर मुझे मिले, जिनके गाइडेंस में मैंने भक्ति करी और साथ साथ कॉलेज एजुकेशन भी लिया। पर जब मैं सेकेंड ईयर में थी, तब भगवान को मेरा शायद ज्यादा एजुकेशन पसंद नहीं था। तो मेरे हस्बैंड, मतलब मेरे जो प्रभु हैं, तो वो ऐसे मेरे काउंसलर के थ्रू एक लड़की ढूंढ रहे थे, ऐसे कोई डिवोटी गर्ल चाहिए थी, उनको शादी करना चाहते थे वो। तो मेरे काउंसलर ने फिर मेरा नाम सजेस्ट किया, और ऐसे करके फिर मेरा जल्दी विवाह, मतलब थर्ड ईयर जब मैं थी, ग्रेजुएशन के थर्ड ईयर में, तभी मेरा विवाह पक्का हो गया। और जैसे ही मैं थर्ड ईयर कंप्लीट करी, तो मेरा विवाह हो गया। इसीलिए मैं सिर्फ ग्रेजुएशन ही कर पाई। और फिर गुरुदेव का भी इंस्ट्रक्शंस मैं पढ़ती थी, और वहाँ गुजरात में मेरे गुरुदेव बहुत आते थे, भक्ति विकास महाराज। तो उनका संग मुझे प्राप्त होता था, और गुरुदेव बार बार पर्सनली मुझे काउंसलर के थ्रू, मतलब काउंसलर मुझे कई बार ले जाते थे महाराज के पास। और महाराज के टीचिंग से मैं बहुत इंस्पायर होती थी कि महाराज लड़कियों के लिए बहुत अच्छा, मतलब बताते कि कैसे लड़कियां आजकल कितना ज्यादा मॉडर्न एजुकेशन, और इवन बहुत ज्यादा इंडिपेंडेंट लड़कियां जो घूम रही है, उसकी वजह से कितना डिटोरेशन आ रहा है, कितना कंटेमिनेशन लड़कियों में बढ़ चुका है। ये सब महाराज अपने लेक्चर्स में बोलते थे। तो मुझे बार बार ऐसे इंस्पिरेशन मिलता था कि मैं उसका भाग नहीं बनना चाहती। मैं सोसाइटी में ऐसी प्रजा उत्पन्न नहीं करना चाहती जो वर्ण संकर प्रजा हो, चली एकदम डल हो। मैं उसका, उस जो समाज का भाग नहीं बनना चाहती। मैं अच्छी वाइफ बनना चाहती हूँ, अच्छी मदर बनना चाहती हूँ, अपने बच्चों को अच्छा आध्यात्मिक ज्ञान देना चाहती हूँ। तो ऐसा मेरा पहले से ही उद्देश्य था। तो महाराज ने, जब महाराज बार बार ऐसा बोलते थे, तो फिर मैंने एजुकेशन से ग्रेजुएशन तक ही किया। उसके बाद मेरा विवाह हो गया, और उसके बाद मैंने एज अ हाउस वाइफ जो ड्यूटीज होती है अपने वाइफ की, वो करना। फिर एज अ मदर भी, मेरी जो मेरे बच्चे जो दो लड़के हैं, तो उनको कैसे रेस करना है, वो भी गाइडेंस डिवोटीज के साथ लेकर मैंने उनको रेस किया है। इस प्रकार से कर चला मेरा लाइफ, माता जी। ओके, हरे कृष्णा।
हरी बोल माता जी।
जैसे इसीलिए मैं माता जी, मैं और पर्सनली जैसे मैं बोलना चाहूंगी कि मैं जब भक्ति में माता जी, जैसे श्रेयता माता जी को जब देखती हूँ, तो ऐसे ही मैं एक्चुअली थी, जो श्रेयता माता जी जैसे इनक्विसिटिव है, और आप जैसे माता जी लोग इनक्विसिटिव हैं, जो लड़कियां कृष्णांगी माता जी, ये सब लोग यंग गर्ल्स हैं। तो मैं जब आप लोग की एज की थी, जब हॉस्टल में मेरे पापा मम्मी ने मुझे रखा था, तो मुझे पहले तो इतना ज्यादा जो बॉयज के साथ जो लड़कियां घूमती वगैरह थी, तो मुझे पहले से ही पसंद नहीं था। आई डोंट लाइक दैट थिंग। मतलब मुझे, मेरे पापा ने ऐसा कुछ रिस्ट्रिक्शन दे रखा नहीं था मेरे को, मतलब ऐसा कुछ ऐसा, क्योंकि मैं जो हॉस्टल में रहती थी, फुल फ्रीडम था मेरे साथ। मेरे जो फ्रेंड्स थे, वो लोग घूमते थे, रोज शाम को बॉयफ्रेंड्स आते थे, ले जाते थे, बाइक में बैठा घूमते थे। पर मैं देखती थी और मुझे बहुत आश्चर्य लगता था ये सब। मैं लगता, अरे वाह, ये क्या कल्चर है। आई वॉज सो रिजर्व्ड एट दैट टाइम। मैं सिर्फ, मेरे पापा में मुझे पढ़ने के लिए भेजे हैं ऐसा सोच के बस कमरे में रहती थी, पढ़ाई करती थी, और जो टाइम मिलता था भक्ति करती, माला करती, जप करती, प्रभुपाद के लेक्चर सुनती। दैट्स टू थिंग्स ओनली आई डू, either भक्ति और रीडिंग, either भक्ति और रीडिंग, these are the two things I like to do. Okay, तो फिर ऐसे कर करके फिर कभी, पर ऐसा कभी नहीं सोचा था, मैं पर्सनल अपना रियलाइजेशन बता रही, कि जब भक्ति करने लगी तो मुझे पढ़ाई में भी टेस्ट था, कि मैं पढ़ना चाहती थी, पर मैंने ऐसा नहीं सोचा था कि भक्ति विल बी माई फुल टाइम। मैं सोचती ठीक है, मुझे पढ़ना है, साथ साथ मुझे टाइम मिल रहा है, मैं भक्ति करूंगी। हाँ, भक्ति करूंगी। ओके, सो दिस इज हाउ आई थिंक। पर भगवान, क्योंकि ऐसा बोलते हैं ना कि भक्ति करते तो भगवान देखते हैं कि अरे इसके लिए क्या राइट है, किसके लिए क्या अच्छा रहेगा। तो मैंने पर्सनली ऐसा सोचा नहीं था कि वन डे आई विल बी सो कमिटेड इन भक्ति। मैंने इतना कमिटमेंट से भक्ति को नहीं लिया था। आई जस्ट लव टू डू इट, आई जस्ट लव टू चैंट, आई जस्ट लव टू रीड प्रभुपाद बुक्स, क्योंकि मुझे बहुत अट्रैक्टिव लगता था, बहुत इंस्पायरिंग लगता था उससे। पर कभी ऐसा सोचा नहीं था कि मैं अपने लाइफ को कमिटमेंट दे दूंगी भक्ति के लिए, नो। बट कृष्णा has some different plan ना, कृष्णा sees some different plan। तो कृष्णा को पसंद नहीं था, वो चाहते थे कि नो, यू शुड कमिट तो धीरे धीरे मुझे गुरु महाराज का संग मिला। मेरे जो काउंसलर थे वो गुरु महाराज के पास लेकर गए, महाराज की टीचिंग्स मिला, फिर महाराज की टीचिंग्स मिला, साथ साथ महाराज जो उपदेश देते थे उसको प्रैक्टिकली इंप्लीमेंट करने के लिए भी भगवान ने ऐसे सिचुएशन में मुझे डाल दिया। फिर मुझे टाइम पे मेरे प्रभु मिल गए, फिर काउंसलर के थ्रू मेरा विवाह हो गया। फिर उसके बाद सब प्रैक्टिकल जो गुरु महाराज से टीचिंग्स मिला था तो वो करने का मौका मिला। तो इस प्रकार से मुझे प्रैक्टिकली इस प्रकार से मेरा जीवन, फिर बच्चे हुए तो बच्चों को कैसे बड़ा करना है वो गाइडेंस के लिए भी बहुत डिवोटीज से वो किया, इंक्वायर किया, उनको होम स्कूलिंग किया, गुरुकुल में भेजा। इस प्रकार से जीवन अपने आप जैसे जैसे सिंसियरिटी दिखाई वैसे वैसे भगवान अपने आप रास्ता दिखाते गए कि अब ये करो, अब ये करो, अब ये। गुरु महाराज के इंस्ट्रक्शन से मुझे काफी हेल्प मिली इस प्रकार से। ओके, सो विल डेफिनेटली स्टार्ट वुमेन मास्टर्स और मदर्स। श्वेता माता जी, आप देखती हूँ ग्रुप में डाल के देखती हूँ। इफ मोर पीपल आर इंटरेस्टेड देन वी कैन ऐड अप and make one group of reading group for women masters or mothers. Okay, so definitely half an hour we can read at least 2 days in a week or 3 days in a week. Okay, thank you very much.
You have achieved real success as a woman. तो हम लोगों को भी ऐसा सक्सेस चाहिए, तो कृपा करिए हम लोगों को भी।
Yes, ऐसा कुछ नहीं। Okay, thank you माता जी। हरे कृष्णा। I'm ending the class. We will meet again. Yeah, हरे कृष्णा। प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, प्रणाम।